All right, Whitlock, they have 2 MVPs in their prime, but is Draymond the most irreplaceable Golden State Warrior?
I think it would be the equivalent of looking at the Bulls and saying Dennis Rodman and his defensive effort. Or, no, let's take the Bulls out. Dennis Rodman and the Detroit Pistons. And then somehow concluding Dennis was more valuable than Isaiah Thomas or Joe Dumars. I wouldn't go there. What Draymond did was incredible. It was inspiring. The defensive blocks were the most exciting plays in that game. He does add a toughness to that team. But when you start talking about who's most valuable, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, even Klay Thompson, the team's built around shooting. Draymond's a decent shooter, but he ain't those guys. Draymond's incredible, not the most irreplaceable.
You know, it's interesting. He reminds me a little bit, kind of like Foreman in the heavyweight division. Like if everybody would have been Muhammad Ali, handsome, smooth, great, but Foreman made it interesting. Mm-hmm. He was flawed. He was the big slugger. Draymond really adds a texture to Golden State. I mean, let's be honest. They replicate a lot of things. They all shoot. It's a perimeter team. Even Ian Clark, like they're really highly skilled. And here comes the bouncer into the nightclub. He's the tough guy. I think he makes them really fun. Conflict at the rim. He's sometimes inappropriate. He flails. He kicks. Like, I know everybody thinks Steph Curry but if you're asking me who makes them the most interesting, he's the biggest character. Rodman made the Bulls more interesting. Wasn't the best player, but there's something to it.
The reason we're all here is because of fit, right? That you have to fit, and he fits them. Mm-hmm. They want to play small. He's the best 5 who can guard the 1 in the NBA. He can shoot threes just well enough to keep you honest.
Yeah.
So much about fit more than anything. Is he the best player? Absolutely not. You would take Kevin Durant first and Steph Curry second and Klay Thompson third. You might take him fourth. You might not. But he's a perfect fit for how they play, and they're a little bit soft, or at least have the perception of being a little bit soft.
They are.
And he's a little bit tough. And he's a pain in the ass. He says things he shouldn't. He acts ways he shouldn't. But that's why you put up with it, CC, because he can play and he can win you games.
Good points there. But also what he does is what Steve Kerr doesn't have to do. Because the intangibles, you can't draw them up. You can't make those blocks. You can't play with that type of energy. And what it does, what allows him to do is when he runs his mouth to his teammates as far as leadership, it gives him clout because he can back it up. So coaches love him. His teammates love him because you can't play a competitive game of sports without a guy like him. Yep. So you might draft the other 3 guys or 4 guys in front of him, but what are they without the glue? Like, he is the glue to keep them together. And if you look at Game 7 last year, he almost had a triple-double. He was their best player in Game 7 last year.
Would he be the hardest guy to replace?
He's the hardest guy to replace because you can replace shooters. And they got 3 shooters. They would still have 2.
They won 13 straight with KD out. They've got shooters.
They might have the best shooters in the history of the game. So I would agree you can replace shooters. Look, everyone in the NBA is searching for a Draymond Green. But I love that we're highlighting the blocks because his ability to defend multiple positions, his ability at, 6'6", 6'6", to block 2 dunks. Like, you see those plays once a season from a guy. We saw it twice in a game.
And when they go get Durant, we know coming out, this is going to be one of the weaknesses of this team. When they get to the playoffs, who's going to be able to protect the rim? Now, when LeBron comes through there, he ain't going to be able to protect the rim.
It was also a reminder. We've become very 3-centric. The 2 moments of that game that brought everybody to their feet were the blocks. We've fallen in love with the 3. But I keep saying this about the NBA. I understand the 3. It's like the no-huddle speed offense in college football. And Nick Saban's like, actually, you have to win at the point of attack. What Draymond illustrates is there is still part of this game, which is the combats at the rim that wins titles.
Yes.
Like, those were the 2... The crowd, the coaches.
And that's why LeBron dominated last year in the end of the finals, because he was suspended and then Andrew Bogut got hurt. Those are the 2 rim protectors.
This is a little tougher to answer than I initially thought, because I'm sitting here thinking about there's certain guys you play with, you work with or whatever. Their effort is so relentless every day that you look at yourself and man, this guy keeps playing hard. I better play. I better match his level of intensity and caring and effort, or I'm going to look bad. And again, not that those other guys are looking to slack off, but they're shooters. They have off days. They're known for doing other things. But when he's out there playing the way he's playing, you got to give effort on both
We
ends.
also live in a passive-aggressive culture. Everybody's on the same AAU team. They have the same agent. They have the same charities. The one guy in that locker room who would call out anybody to almost an inappropriate level would be Draymond. And sometimes the people who make us uncomfortable are really important.
Yeah, people want to be liked. He doesn't care if he's liked.
Exactly.
Like Ron Artest, like Dennis Rodman, he doesn't care if
And they're
anybody
really
likes him.
valuable people.
Absolutely.